Welcome to another live stream episode of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and joining me tonight we have Dave right beside me, we have Bell below me, and we have Jeff in the opposite corner. Howdy all. Hopefully you're all keeping well. We'll do the rounds in just a second, but we have a lot to get through as always tonight. So we are going to be doing round 2 of our King of the Riff Stoner Rock and Metal Battle Edition, and this time around it's Deliverance from Corrosion of Conformity going up against Rated R from Queens of the Stone Age. That poll, as Bell found out the hard way, having to do the counting online, was quieter than the other one, which is the 1990 album. That went absolutely off. So we're going to pick out albums from 1991 this week to follow up from 1990 last week. Dave is doing Guess the Song this week. We'll have all the usual other stupidity as always. So make sure you keep up to date, follow us, all the usual stuff. There's a link to our website in the description box. Make sure you check out our Patreon page too if you'd be so kind, and you get extra stuff doing that. And also check us out on telly. Thursday nights, 10:30 p.m, Channel 44 Adelaide. Saturday nights, 10:30 p.m, Channel 31 in Melbourne. This week is a New Tunes episode. That's right, it is New Tunes. Yeah, we've got a lot to get through as always. Make sure if you're here in the comments, say hi, give us your thoughts, and just in case it's what you're talking about is linked to a particular moment in time because we move through things relatively quickly, make sure you give us some sort of reference as to what you're talking about if you're leaving a comment on the way through. Obviously, if you say hi, just say hi. It's just if there's a particular thing in reference to. But we have people here, which is good to see. We have Michael joining us, saying good evening, everyone. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Guy over the seas there, he's there. So greetings from across the plane. Good to see you again, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Same with Andrew. Good evening, all. Good to see you again, too. Man Family, another regular. Good to see you. Hey, same with Sally. And Sally's here as well. Hey, good to see you. Hopefully you've been keeping well, too. Edge Crusher as well. Evening, all. Good to see you again. So yeah, make sure you jump in, say hi, give us your thoughts on anything and everything as always. But we'll do a quick little bit of the rounds here. So Dave, what was the highlight of your last week since you were here on the stream?
Oh, I've been off work for a week, or 2 weeks actually, and I can't remember the last time I was sober. It's been a few good nights. Fuck, the highlight. I honestly can't remember. There's probably a reason for that. No, it's been good. Oh, hang on. Fuck. Jesus Christ. What the hell? What type of dad am I? My daughter started high school, so that was a massive highlight.
There we go.
Big event. She came out. She had to wear a sports uniform on the first day because they had sport that day. And now she's in a full uniform, walked up to the bus, got said goodbye, and off she goes. And then you hear about it. And she gets herself home on the bus, listening to Måneskin on her phone, like all good teenage metal rock girls do. Little mini me, so proud. And Rory has started grade 4. He's in the second half of the primary school, so 3 more years at primary school, and then that world is done. He'll be off to high school too. Wow. But they're both great. So definitely that's been the highlight of the week. Kids going off to the next year of school.
Nice, cool. What about you, Jeff? What was your highlight of the last week? Was there one?
Well, I can't think of anything really. Highlights, I don't know, really. I did have one. I had, as you guys probably know, I'm a nerd, so I'm a role player. I've been role playing for a long time. So there's an old, there's an author by the name of H.P. Lovecraft, and he wrote this thing, Call of Cthulhu stuff, right? So there's a role-playing game called Call of Cthulhu, and the last time I ran a session of Call of Cthulhu, it was like 1987. Wow. Yes, I'm old people, old as dirt, and I was organizing to have another one run, so I got in touch with all my mates and stuff, and a couple new people that I brought in from old workmates and stuff. And I ran a session, and they all fucking loved it. And
cool, man.
It went really, really well. And I went all out. Like I had props and everything like that. Wow. So it was all really cool. Like antique wooden box full of shit. And I spent heaps of money buying it all, but it all paid off because they liked it. Yeah. There's a fucking mosquito in here, and that cunt bites me. That's it. It's war.
Jeff versus the mosquito. Don't fuck with Canada,
mate. I just saw the bastard go by, so he comes by again, and his life is forfeit.
Well, I have. The moment before you said you were into role play, I was thinking you looked like the dude from Wolf Creek. So it kind of fucked with my head.
Oh, that's a scary dude.
It's the hat.
That's not a compliment.
Wow.
It's the hat.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Look, hey.
I mean, you're a nice guy. I mean, you're not going to torture it or anything,
but
but
you guys don't know. Yeah. Who knows? Right?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
yeah, I mean,
No.
people who live
Look.
next door to serial killers, like, he was such a quiet person. He was
Yeah.
really fun. You know, he
That's
had
right,
heads in his freezer.
He was such a nice guy. Shame about the neighbors,
I know.
That he
And he was
axed to death,
Canadian too. Who would expect?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Hey, well, that's it for me. So yeah,
Yeah,
so nothing
cool.
special. It was a really cool night, but
Nice.
and then
That's good
part
though, man.
2 is
Yeah.
coming up in a couple weeks because we ended on a cliffhanger.
Cool.
And,
well done.
Cliffhangers. People who do that should be shot.
Or should I
Cliffhangers
say,
away. That keeps
should I
them
say
interested,
well
right?
played.
Keeps them interested. So
that's it.
Yeah.
they'll be back.
All
anyway,
right.
Bill,
Bill, it's been a little while. What was the highlight?
I know.
of the week? Yeah.
I don't have a highlight of the week. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't realize it was a tell us your highlight kind of round the
My
table.
fault. I just
But
changed it up on the fly here. I didn't really give anyone any notice on that one.
no.
So
yeah, I noticed, but yeah, I can never think.
We
of
don't plan
the
anything on this
fly.
show.
planning is for amateurs.
Oh. Nice. I went back to work, so that sucked. That's
Okay.
a low light.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, can I just quickly say how awesome Japan was? Because I haven't been back since,
Yes.
and to like mention it. So it was
Mhm.
great. I had a great time. Ate lots of good food. Survived an earthquake.
Yes.
Um,
Good job on that.
That was really scary. We were like
Mm.
400 k's away, and the bar I was in was just like rocking.
Ah,
And all the people, like all the customers were just drinking away, and the waitresses were serving drinks like nothing was going on. I'm like, what the fuck? Like the whole place was shaking.
Is
Wow.
this a feature? Or have
So
I been drinking
I don't
too
know.
much?
I guess so. I thought like, maybe it's a train going overhead, but it
Is this
only
part of
happened
the show?
once. So I'm like, the trains are like every 2 minutes, so it couldn't be that anyway. So
Wow.
yeah, so that was exciting.
Mm.
Found in Tokyo this like metal / horror themed bar, this tiny little
wow.
bar. Like I had to go there. It was really fun, and all
That
the
sounds
drinks
awesome.
were 666 yen, and there was just like
That's nice.
like all the drinks,
That's
beer,
cool.
spirits, just everything.
Yeah.
And there was like a horror movie on this little screen and a different horror movie on this little screen, like really bad, aka really good.
Yeah.
Movies and just paraphernalia everywhere. Music, like really good music blaring. So that was fun. Met lots of tourists and locals. And yeah, bought lots of records, which was great. Records really, really reasonable over there, price wise. So I stocked up as much as I could.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got my collection's got a bit of a boost, and found some good new music like this. I can't pronounce it, but this Japanese CD was playing in Tower Records when I was in there, and so I bought that, and I met I went to Singapore too for a few days and met this Finnish tourist who introduced me to a Finnish band, metal band, and they're really good. They're called Stamina, and there's like an I in the title. It's not in English at all, but yeah. So as I was leaving, I said, "Thanks for the rec." And he's like, "Thank you for sharing Finnish music across the world." And
That's cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, that was fun. Yeah. So, but it was really good to come back home, and there's no place like home. So, but it was great while I was there. So yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's my highlight of the last month.
No, good one. Absolutely brilliant to have you back, and hear those stories. But yeah, for all things, just again from all of us, good to have you back. Hopefully you're keeping as well as you can there.
Was that Dave
dropped out? Yeah, it was you, Dave. He dropped out and dropped back in, so it's all good. So for those playing along at home, it's switch a room now. We've all moved around in the rotation.
Musical squares.
Musical squares.
There's a game show there. THRS Musical Squares. Where will we end up?
Here we go. Now, from my end, pretty standard week, except for the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. So I'm stoked about
The
that.
who? The what?
The who, the what? American football day. Don't worry about it.
Sports, Dave. Sports.
Sports.
Well,
ball.
that shit. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
more
that.
of that shit. But yeah, so I'm a huge NFL fan. Been following the Chiefs since what, late
Did you
80s,
say
early
Annabelle?
90s.
Oh my god.
Here we go. And
I can
So, yeah.
picture that type of fucking
You make-
sport, huh?
Oh god. He's got a one-track mind, that boy.
he does.
Yeah, I do.
He does. So yeah, that was I sat down, watched that, and considering that this year in particular, it's a year that everyone was writing him off again, like last year, and it's like you don't learn, do you? When we've got the coach and the quarterback that we've got, it's like, well, we're gonna keep getting there or thereabouts, and so back to the big dance again. So I'm living as a fan a fantastic little run. You don't know how long it's going to last for, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can because it can all be over like that. So yeah, that was a good little thing to have happen for me over the last week. Now I've got to wait for the Super Bowl, not this week coming up, but the one after. But I'll be stoked when that happens, and fingers crossed we can get another one done. That'd be pretty cool, especially this year with everyone writing them off so bloody hard. But we'll see what happens. There's a lot to go between now and
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's go. More comments here. We got Nicole's joined us saying evening. All good to see you, Nicole,
Hey.
as always. Same with Rowan. There you go. And she's gone, I've always followed the 49ers, so game on, Andrew. Well, that's true. But I'll tell you what, for those playing along at home that, I'm not a bandwagoner because I jumped on because I followed when Joe Montana came across from the 49ers, and the game that made me to follow the Chiefs was when Montana beat Steve Young, the quarterback that replaced him in San Fran. So that was a little moment that caught my attention, and that's from there. Went to the playoffs that season. It was all looking good, and then started to fall off pretty quickly after that, and the quarterback merry-go-round kicked off. But no, for me...
I could say something, but I'm not going to. Just...
Okay, Dave.
You just did. You just did.
Yeah, well. All right. So let's do this one. Let's get moving on to the songs of the week. We are trying to keep things moving as we have started to do last week. We'll see how long it lasts for. In the comments, there's all reference tracks to all this sort of stuff in the description box. So make sure you check those out if you're missing this or tuning in later on, whatever else. Reference tracks are available in the description. But we're going to start with Bleed From Within with the song Overthrown. This was chosen by Jeff, assigned to Bell. It's from the Scottish band's sixth studio album, Shrine, originally released in 2022 with a deluxe edition released in 2023. Belle, let's start with you. How'd you go with this track?
Well, I absolutely loved it,
Nice.
Jeff. It's exactly the kind of song that I would have picked. It's just totally my thing. Aggressive, hardcore verses and a melodic chorus. What's not to like? Right? And it's not just downtuned one-finger chords. There's some skill and dexterity on show here with the guitar work as well. And the guitars and drums were in perfect sync the whole way through, even playing off each other, which I thought gave the song extra punch and purpose. The breakdown was lovely. If I feel the sudden need to go jumping around in a mosh pit, then the breakdown is doing its job.
Yeah.
So job done. I've heard of this band, but I haven't heard anything from them. I didn't know what style of music they played. So, but I had a quick read over their wiki page, and it seems they've been doing the hard yards for quite a while now, trying to get recognition and to the point that they're at now. So, but well deserved. Like, they're really good, just, from what I've heard. I was actually quite surprised, Jeff, that you picked this. It's just, I think if I was looking at our playlist and I had to guess whose song was whose, you would be at the bottom of the list of us for this song. So surprising, but really awesome. Like, I loved it. Very cool. So it's just a band I'm going to have to add to my look into their back catalogue. Yeah, for 2024.
Cool. All right. So, Jeff, how did you come across it, and what are your thoughts on the track?
Well, I'm always happy to subvert expectations, as Belle just alluded to. So, look, I I was just literally searching for something fresh, something new, and going, through the minefield of music as there really is, because you come across a lot of great stuff, and you come across stuff that you just go, nope, next, and because you can tell it's just something that you're just not going to like, Boy George or something. Fuck that. So, because he's making a comeback too.
It never comes up on my Spotify playlist.
Well,
what do you listen to? Where's your algorithms going at?
Yeah, that's I try subverting expectations once again.
Including
what do you do on the weekends?
That's my catch-all answer for everything. So look, when I came across these guys, I thought these guys are pretty cool. I like the sound. There was something here I could hear, there's gent in there, right? There was I'm not a massive fan of. But if it's done well, I quite like it. There's some deathcore. There's metal. You could even hear in the chorus and stuff. There was some prog hidden in here as well. So you can tell there's a lot of inspiration. They're pulling inspiration from various places, which is good. Apparently, the guys are from Birmingham. Was what I found.
They're from Scotland.
No, I got Scotland in my research, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now be careful, because there's another band that says Overthrown, not Overthrown. This is like a throne that you sit in.
Yeah.
No, they're called Bleed From Within.
Yeah.
I think the band.
No, the band is it?
Yeah, the band is Bleed From Within.
And the song's called Overthrown.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
okay. Now I'm confused.
That makes a lot of sense.
We're all going to have to check out Overthrown from Birmingham now.
Yeah, because I did
see what they're about.
But look, I know the song. Now this is fucked up. Okay.
There you go.
Well,
Jeff.
I am subverting expectations. I listened to the song. Obviously, I watched the lyric video thing that I included. So that's cool. But
I didn't watch a video.
Definitely Google fucking Overthrown. There's a band called Overthrown. All right, so obviously my wires are fucking crisscrossed. You'd think I was fucking drinking, but no. Dave and I've literally switched places here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But look, anyway, I did enjoy the fact that these guys, there was some familiarity in their sound. So I could hear, now people probably call me, crazy, but I could hear a little bit of Killswitch Engage in here at times.
Yeah.
And at other times you can hear Fear Factory.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
There was just the way the lyrics were coming out. It was very Burton C. Belly,
Yep.
Belly, Burton C. Bell.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
That kind of work, actually.
Burton C. Belly. All right. I don't want to see Burton's belly, but and he definitely doesn't want to see mine. But anyway, look, these guys are really good musically, and I thought that one of the cool things I like about a band like this is they were showing they're very musical, but they were also showing some restraint, which is difficult to do. A lot of bands put it all on the table and they blow their load in one shot, right? These guys, you could see that they were kind of holding back at times, and yet they were very, very good at what they were doing. I thought there was a killer groove here. The drummer just kicks ass on this, and he was laying everything down. It was just bang. And so, look, I'm really obviously looking forward to their next album, because I believe this song that they put out there is a precursor to the next album that's coming out. So,
cool.
So anyway, hopefully it's good. I'm sure it will be. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, what more can I say? If you didn't, well, you're a bum. Anyway, that's it.
All right, let's see if the audience have anything to say about it. Benjamin Payne here. Good to see you, buddy. Stop from New Zealand, yo. Good to see you. Ben's here. Hey, what's up, THRS? Good to see you. And we got Basher. Hey, everyone. Ready for another splendid, informative show? Well, you're already in for a rough ride there. And Vinny's going, evening, gang. We listen to The Beast in Black on Spotify. Not a bad listen, actually. For those who are curious, it's about a successful porn star. Just kidding, lol. Good to see you, Belle. Oh, wow. Here we go. Benjamin's gone, Googled fucking Overthrow, ended up being directed to a video of assault on the American Capitol building. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay. Overthrown.
Overthrown. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, we're going to move on. Next up is a little band out of Melbourne called Shotgun Mistress and their latest single, Jude, Judas. Now, this was chosen by me. Dave got it assigned to him. It's the latest single from the Melbourne band, which is from the upcoming second album due in the middle of this year. I think about June, which is funny considering the title here almost. Yeah. Judas.
In June.
June. The hell? Judas. Yeah, sorry.
Judas in June.
I'm not saying that 10 times
Say
fast.
that in an hour's time, Dave.
Judas in June. Judas in June. JJJ.
There you go. But anyway, that's a whole different version of Triple J. Anyway, this is the song of the week from my point of view. And Dave, I know that you and I both love this band. So let's just hear what you think of this one. If it's like me, you're going to have enjoyed it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is fucking awesome. I remember when we reviewed their album that came out in 2021, and can't remember who was on the panel with us, but we all agreed that it was fantastic, and it's very hard for everyone to agree that something is awesome on this show, regardless of what configuration the panel will consist of throughout the years of the many strange combinations we've had. The song is cool. I like this. This ticks all the boxes for me. You got a catchy riff. You got an awesome fucking catchy chorus and an awesome riff.
Yeah.
This, if you're a guitarist, it will grab you and it will just make that's going to be fun to play. That's a really cool riff. And in over 70 years of rock and roll, it's amazing that people can still come up with just fucking catchy, cool guitar stuff. The solo is fantastic as well. It's melodic and there's a nice build up that fits the song. Nice breakdown towards the end. Singer sounds fantastic. This band is interesting because I think original Tim pointed out that it's like Guns N' Roses, where you got Guns N' Roses had 5 members, but this has 4. But all got very unique styles, looks, personalities, and influences. And it all comes together. And that's what I've been saying for fucking years. You're all playing basically the same chords. It's the personalities of the people that are playing them to make something special. And this band really has locked into something special. So I can't wait to hear this new album because the first album was fantastic and everything they do is just brilliant. So this is a very cool song. Good pick, man.
Yeah, cheers. Got to thank the band for making sure we're aware of it. But I did follow. I've got them saved on. I follow them on Spotify. So every time these guys, sort of drop something, it always shows up on my, new release list. But
I think that was the last local gig I fucking went to. It was Eat the Damn Orange and Jude Judas and Carly Jewel.
Wow,
it was a good fucking night. Oh yeah, my car got locked in the fucking parking garage I was stuck in. And
that's
like all these people out there.
That was a story.
How the hell are we going to get our cars out? I was literally going to climb to the second level of the car park to run down and open the gate from inside because I couldn't see anything. I'm like, hang on, just slide the fucking gate open.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, that's the lights are off. You just had to slide the gate open. Just like, yes, I did it. I saved everyone. That's literally what happened. Yeah. I'm not joking. Wow. I'm not building myself up. Joking.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Dave's committing all
Super Dave
in spare time.
Yeah. A gig is an adventure in my world. I'll tell you about the Nightwish gig one day.
Yeah, I know. All right. For me,
that was an adventure.
For me, this song, it's a case of what's not to like. If you like hard rock at all, you're going to enjoy this one. It picks up right where the band have left off with previous releases, including the album. Like Dave said, hell of a riff. Absolutely monster riff on this one. So I love the hook in the chorus. The use of groove across the whole song is fantastic. The rhythm section has just nailed it on this one in particular. I love the groove in the bass. Now the drum sort of does its thing too. And it really does make the song sort of pulse and capture your attention. Like the riff is fucking cool, but underneath of that, there's this great pulse to it, which is fantastic. It just feels really cool to listen to it. It's heavy, but it's not a frantic heavy kind of a thing. It's just got loads of melody as always with these guys, but there's also lots and lots of bite, and that's what you want from this style of music. You want that melody, you want the bite, you want the hook, but you want the riff and the balls of it. You want all those things. You get it all in one little song here.
You want the balls.
Well, we are here. Things we do for love, Dave. It's chunky, it's heavy, it's all hard rock.
Cool, it's okay.
I know. You won't be disappointed with the song, I think, at all. That said, there's a slower section in here, which I think really does sort of cap it all off. It's really nicely done. It's a killer track, and if it's a sign of things to come, look out, because, like Dave said too, the solo is killer. I got to note that was a note for that too. But the debut album, I think, for all of us that reviewed it, was in or very close to being in our top 10s for the year 2021. So if this is a sign of things to come, then this album's probably going to be already up there for me, because that is just one hell of a little single there. So I'm looking forward to what's to come. Bring on middle of the year in that regard for mine. So yeah, please do. Alrighty. Sally says, "Yep, into the song and the band, loving it." There we go. Awesome already. And Ben says, "Really appreciate liberal interest and usage of the word fucking in this show."
Fuck. You should have said the fucking P from Fuck Terry.
Yeah, the fuck review. That's iconic.
That was fantastic.
That was iconic. I'll have to get that out. Vinny says, "See, why can't artists just be like Shotgun Mistress, a traditional rock band, good music, actual talent instead of relying on electronics, AI, and Skynet shit?" But the thing is that this is where, okay, yes, now we're going to kick off on something else. No, we're not going to. We're going to keep us on track. But bands...
Oh, dude, Vinny, if I ever turn gay, you'd be the first person I call.
Rightio.
Can I be number 2?
Wow.
As long as you wear the hat, man. Gotta wear the hat, man.
The hat comes with the territory.
There we go. All right. Anyway, it's
Vinny's awesome. He knows that shit.
Great call. There we go. Alrighty. Now, next up is, I think, Dave, if you could do me a favor and just double check the chat for a second. I think Conrad's looking for the link. I know you sent it through, but just maybe redo that for me. Next song
your head
to go through is one from a little band called Halo of the Sun. The song is called Welcome to the Hurricane. It was chosen by Bell, assigned to me, so I get to go back to back here. So it's in the comments, in the description box, as usual, folks. You know what to do. It's the latest single from the Czech band, but I can't find a lot of other info on this one unless Bell knows more than I do, but we'll get to that in a moment. But for me, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, yeah, this is Bell's choice. It's funny how you were talking about how Jeff's song sort of circumvented your expectations, but this one for me is like, yeah, this is a Bell song. It's got that heavy, genty kind of a feel going on for it, but there's a light and airiness sort of quality to it, which is cool. It makes this song stand out because of the use of light and shade across the whole thing. You get that right from the beginning and it goes all the way through the song. Great light and shade. There's a neat little hook in the chorus of this song, which is cool. It's got all you want from this style of music with the blend of, the clean and the harsh vocals. Again, come back to that whole key of being light and shaded. And I've got to say, too, that the visualizer video for this one's pretty cool. It's a neat little, don't know what they did there, but it's a really cool little video. The breakdown, which is what these songs really are all geared toward, is very well done on this one. The leading up to, like, the leading heavier part is nicely done there, but it's really all offset by the sort of spacious moment that follows it as well. Again, that whole balance, Beauty and the Beast kind of thing, aggression and love. It's all in that one little moment of the song. It's got, the beauty and the brutality all the way through it. And that little, breakdown moment is what really sums it up for me and puts the song over for me. It's a nice little find. It's funny how when I look through on Spotify, they're from the Czech Republic, but Melbourne seems to be the most listened to territory at the moment. So I don't know if that's from something, because it's not from me. I'm not in Melbourne anymore, so I don't know what's going on there. But a lot of people in Melbourne are listening to this band, which is cool. But yeah, I don't think they're breaking brand new ground, but it's a very good way to do this kind of music. And so, Bell, I think you've kicked off 2024 with a bang out of your choices there. So nicely done. How did you find it? And yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I found it because Northland dropped a new song not long ago, like a week ago. And that was what I was going to put forward as my song of the week. So I was listening to that on Spotify. And as you know, Spotify does if you like this, you'll like this. And this song came on afterwards. And I was doing something. I had my headphones on. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Who is this? So let it play through, had a look. I'm like, wow, this is, they're a band that don't have a huge following, I think.
Yeah.
4,000 on Spotify.
I think the video has like 6,000 views or something like that.
Yeah. So I think they're a fairly young band. I did a little bit of digging. You're right. There's not a lot of info. They released an EP, I think, before COVID, and then they've just released a handful of singles since then. They've had a couple of lineup changes. Yeah, they went from a 5-piece down to a 4, so they lost their lead guitarist, changed their sound a little bit. I haven't actually listened to their older stuff, so I don't know how much, but I think like losing a lead, you'd lose, you kind of, well, they're a bit genty now, so I imagine that's kind of the way they've gone. I don't know, but I do plan on going back. That's the other band on my list so far to go and check out the discography of. I don't think it'll take very long, but I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, that's how I found it, and yeah, the video is cool. And because I had a listen through, I'm like, this is cool. Maybe I'll put this forward. Watch the video to see if there is one, and it's a lyric video as well. And the lyrics are great. They're really
that was cool. Yeah.
They're very environmental, I could say, but just quite deep and certainly on point at the moment. But yeah, I thought that it was watching that sold it for me. I'm like, yep. Sorry, North Lane. I think that might have been one of the last ones.
It's got to be good to be.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So anyway. Anyway, so about the song, there's a lot going on, I think, right off the bat, and a lot of layers to take in, and I really enjoyed taking those in, on multiple listens, sort of broke it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I like how the elements stand out in their own right, but they don't overshadow. Like, there's not one thing that overshadows the other. Kind of blends really well. Yeah, so definitely genty sound to the song, particularly in the verses. I like the inclusion of sound effects. So there's a wind blowing at the start, which is right on point for the song theme and title. I think the drummer used the double kick beautifully, and added interest to the song. And I thought there was great interplay with the drums and guitars. It was just, like you said, it wasn't anything, no breaking new ground, but it's interesting in its own right. I thought they kind of gave it their own personality, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't sound, it's not cookie cutter. It doesn't sound like that. They're not breaking new ground, but they don't sound like anyone else either at the same time.
Yeah.
They did a very good job on their own.
Yeah. So I hope they kind of, I don't know, just keep doing that. Look, so that little melody that sort of runs through in the instrumental sections, that was cool, and that's sort of memorable as well. The vocals in the chorus just saw, beautifully melodic chorus. It just lifts the whole song, I thought, out of that sort of gentiness and great contrast, which I love. I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for heavy, growly. Not that they were particularly growly. The vocals kind of had moments. It was a mix of clean and harsh. Yeah, which worked. In the right was sort of
that contrast is what makes this song what it is.
Yeah. It was just the right balance, I thought, for that as well. Cool bridge, great use of keys here. No solo, but I don't think this song required one. I think putting a solo in there would have been out of place for this style.
Yeah, I agree.
This theme, it's about the lyrics. I think it's obviously the music, but they're trying to get a message across. So putting a solo in there just would have been, I don't know, self-indulgent, I guess.
It wouldn't have really fit. I think the breakdown served that purpose anyway for it. So
yeah, exactly. Definitely a message to the human race lyrically. My interpretation, we fucked up, and it seems most of us don't care enough to stop what we're doing, or it's actually going to make a difference. So we're eventually going to get what's coming to us. I think is what they're getting at.
That's basically the message.
We do. Yeah, we do.
You reap what you sow.
Exactly. So yeah, I've listened to it heaps all week. I love it. I couldn't not put this forward. So hopefully putting it out there will get them more listens and get them exposure. And I hope I'll be watching I'm following them now. So I hope these guys, do really well in their future.
Cool. No,
sorry.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, Dave. Don't worry. We've just got you just in time to come back because we're going to do your song next anyway. But I'm not sure who this is on YouTube, but thanks for the comment which says Pantera top. There we go. Not
okay,
sure.
I'll wear one next week.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah. Pantera week next week. Everyone wear Pantera.
Right.
Wow. She only
Everyone-
said fuck once. Well, we'll have to up Bell's game. That's all right. We can get
Fuck,
there.
fuck,
We can
fuck,
do
fuck.
what
What are you
happens.
doing, Bill?
Subverting
Subverting expectations.
Joey's
Yeah.
here
Hey,
saying
Joey.
hi. I hope all is well. Yes, we're good. Hopefully you are
Hey.
as well. And Vinny said, shit, I genuinely just realized Bell is wearing an Anthrax t-shirt. Thought it was the top of a pair of denim overalls.
Oh, I'm not a minion, dude. Come on.
There
Oh.
we go.
Back when I was at Big W, we had the mid-year toy sale, and they made everyone wear the fucking t-shirt of the Minion overall thing. I refused to do it. I actually wore a sign on myself that said "Not a Minion." So I've never been a follower. I refuse to fucking do it.
Wow.
Good for you.
Well,
I would have said
there we
fuck
go.
you too. Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Minions are
And
cute.
Joel's having a good laugh there. All right, one more song, people. And we're going to do it. This is Dave's choice of the week. It's been assigned to Jeff. It is Whom Gods Destroy with the song In the Name of War. Like I said, chosen by Dave, assigned to Jeff. It's the debut single from a supergroup featuring Derek Shrinian, Ron Bumblefoot Dahl, Dino Jalustic, Yaz Nomura, and Bruno Valverde. It's from the upcoming album Insanium, due March 2024. So March 15, I think, is the release date officially. Dave, I thought this was a cracking song when it came out. I put it into our little mail playlist. I don't know if that's where you found it or not, but we'll get your thoughts in a second. But Jeff, I'm pretty sure, knowing your taste, that you would have enjoyed this one too. So off you go.
Absolutely. So I had to write something for this one because I like this so much. So hope I don't upstage Dave at all. His song, right? So look, from the manic piano at the beginning, played by the legendary Derek Shrinian, you know you're in for a treat. Now, I never had the chance to see him when he played with Dream Theater, but I was lucky enough to see him when he was actually part of Joe Bonamassa's touring band when he played Melbourne a few years ago. Yeah, cool. So that was cool. And I thought, fuck, that actually kind of made it because I like Joe Bonamassa, but then I thought, fuck, I've seen Derek Shrinian now. How cool is that? So when I saw this song posted online, actually, before David chose it for his song of the week, I almost chose it myself because ultimately I ended up going with the End Machine. But I was tossed up between this song and the End Machine, and I ended up going with the End Machine. So I was super glad when I was given the opportunity to review it tonight. So that was great. This song is killer in every sense of the word, and I cannot, for one, wait for the full album. If I didn't say it already, I really, 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 really like this song. So I wanted to take a few moments to speak about their guitarist, Ron Thal. This guy is an insane guitar player, literally heads and shoulders over most of his musical peers. And for those in the know, he's right up there with the likes of Steve Vai and Guthrie Govan, okay, for his musical prowess. He's that good. And who plays a fretless fucking guitar? Everyone's heard of fretless bass, but fretless guitar?
Steve Vai does.
Well, I know, but the reason... Exactly. But the thing is, the reason why more people don't play it is because it's almost impossible to play it well. And the reason is you have to be extremely precise. The smallest mistake means you're either sharp or flat. And putting the song out of tune. So you've got to be fucking dead on. You've got nothing to mark it, right? So you literally have to have, and if you watch Ron, like I don't know how much he's playing it up for the video, but he's playing and he's not even looking. So he's the guy's down, right? So this is why guitars have frets, so that we can easily see where the the notes should be.
You need fucking guidance.
Well, it's not easy.
Well, no. So, but you take away those frets, and literally Pandora comes out of her box. That's how bad it can be. So
not even hope is left.
That's right. But that's why most people, who end up playing fret guitar, are going to sound completely awful most of the time because you just got to be so precise. And Ron Thal, or Bumblefoot as he's known, he's good enough that he can play fretless guitar and make it look easy. But I just want to reiterate that, rest assured, if anyone out there is wondering, this is probably one of the hardest styles of guitar playing there is. And it's almost, you could almost call it a technique. Because that's really what it is. And the way to excel the way he does is simply beyond most players' their ability. So, Whom Gods Destroy. I actually quite like this name. Now I've heard some people out there have been, watching videos, reading, Reddit things and stuff about this band, and there's a lot of people don't like the name. So people don't think it's very good. I quite like it. I think it adds a level of gravitas and expanse to the band. And I don't know if they took the name from a classic Star Trek episode of the same name, From Whom Gods Destroy, or early philosopher Euphrates, who lived between I did my research. He lived between the years 484 and 406 BC. He was a philosopher.
Jeff, I just hope this research is more fitting than what you did with Overthrone, okay? So just...
How the fuck could I know that the band was called Bleed From Within? They don't tell you, so I just thought, oh, well.
What a band.
Anyway, but look, doesn't matter either way, because I think it's a cool name for a band. So look, breaking down the band into its other parts, the bass player here, he's just bang. He provides a solid back line, and then you get the drummer. This drummer, I don't know who the fuck he is, but I saw his name and I read his name, but
he's a nobody. Compared to everybody else in this band, he's a nobody.
He is a nobody compared to the other guys. That's right. However,
he's fucking good.
He's got, if you watch him play, listen to him play, he's got a very snappy crack, and that's something that there's another famous drummer has and does a lot, and that's Mike Portnoy. Does the same fucking thing, and a lot of drummers don't do it, right? They hit, and there's just something. It's hard. I look like an idiot, but
it's a feel.
It's a feel thing, right?
Yeah.
And you can just tell this guy does it. So, Dino Jalusic, of course. What can I say about this guy that hasn't already been said? Not much. Killer vocalist. And from what I understand, he's actually a multi-instrumentalist himself, and he can play all the instruments. Yeah, didn't know that, but he can.
Dude.
And he's apparently he's right up there, like as keyboard player. He's considered absolutely amazing. So I'd love to see him. But of course, when you got a keyboard player like Derek Sherinian, you're just gonna sit back, let him.
He did a solo album last year. I wonder if he plays other instruments on that, because I know he got a band under his name.
It'd be interesting to find out, because that's some of the research that I did. I found that he can play just about any instrument. So I don't know if he's just that good. So I know this is Dave's pick of the week, and I'm sorry. It was almost mine last week, so I have to give a nod for approval, because I
knew you'd like it, man.
And I fucking love it, and I cannot wait. So I was a big fan of what was the other band there? Ron Thal was in, the one with Portnoy. What was that? You know the one?
Sons of Apollo.
Sons of Apollo. Yeah,
that's it.
I was quite a big fan of that too. I liked it a lot. And now that's never gonna, that's a done deal thing now. I think that Mike's gone, which is a shame. But it makes me wonder that, this drummer that they got for this band, he reminded me a lot of Portnoy, and I wonder if that was the criteria. They thought, hey, if we're going to get a drummer, there's no way we have to get a drummer that's, at least on paper sounds equally as good as Portnoy. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe just a coincidence, but I can't wait to hear more from these guys. So big fucking thumbs up. Thank you, Dave, for choosing this song this week. And now I'm going to shut up. I've said too much.
Whatever Jeff said, I agree. I don't have to say anything, but I will. I have to say, people don't like this band name. I think it's one of the best band names I've heard in a while, because they're so fucking generic and stupid recently. They give me no reason to want to check out their music. There are so many fucking stupid band names around at the moment.
I like it. Yeah.
I like
fantastic.
It too. Yeah.
2, I've seen Ron Thal play live. I saw Guns N' Roses 11 years ago with the Chinese Democracy lineup. And that was a fantastic concert. Axl sounded fucking amazing. He was at his peak vocally. But the egotistical maniac that he is actually allowed Ron to play a solo song, and allowed DJ Usher to play a solo song during the set. Who would have known? But I have to say, DJ Usher's song was fantastic. Ron's song sucked. Sorry. That was fucking crap. But he is a fantastic guitarist, as Jeff pointed out. But So, ex-members of Dream Theater and ex-members of Guns N' Roses. As soon as that came up on the promo email that I got, I was like, oh, shit. Okay, it's a shame they're not original members of those bands, but we can't be choosers. Okay, you got my attention. And the singer from Animal Drive.
Works for you, Dave. You'll make it work.
It does. Fucking Guns N' Roses and Dream Theater on the same email. Holy shit. But add the singer of Animal Drive. Now, they were a great band, but I don't think the singer was actually at his full potential in that. I never think they got out of the fucking group of bands that they were lumped in around. And then he did a solo album last year. I saw that come up on YouTube. And like, holy shit, this guy's fucking talented. Okay, so I'm in. You got 3 people that have grabbed my attention. Dramatic opening with the keyboard melody that builds nicely. I love that shit. It's so cool. And that closes with that well. It's a nice booklet, which is cool. Guitars come in with the heavy chords and the killer guitar tone, heavy riffs, all the shit that's right up my alley. Singer's fucking awesome voice, and he's got some personality in his delivery. He's not just technical, he's got some personality, which is important. It distinguishes you from other people. Nice use of haunting notes through the verse. I thought that was a very cool touch. Could you just have the verse itself was cool, but those little additional notes they put in, really nice touch. Nice mellow midsection. The bass gets a chance to shine, and you got the mellow shredding guitar solo. If you're into guitar, instrumental, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, that type of fucking awesome guitar tone, slow phrasing, builds up. That's the shit that gets guitar players moist. It's fantastic. Awesome guitar solo. I just love that shit. There was a lot going on in the song. The more that you listen to it, the more you'll find. Great changes, dramatic build, lots of layers in each part. And in my opinion, it's still very accessible. This could be on radio, even though these are musicians that know exactly what they're doing. It's not just music for musicians, though. It's accessible to anybody who likes anything from hard rock to heavy metal. It's just done exceptionally fucking well. It's the first song from this band, and I'm really interested to see what else they do, because once again, you get the right group of musicians together, you can create some fucking amazing stuff. So very keen to hear more from this band.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. Well, it's funny because we had Conrad there for a second and then he dropped out again, so I'm not sure. We are expecting Conrad to join us. It's just a matter of how I make that happen. We'll go through some comments and we'll start working on that too. I did say, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully Conrad jumps back in via the link shortly. Ben says, Dave, I dare to wear a Barbie tee to your next concert and take a fucking selfie and post it in the lounge. That's not going to happen. I'll tell you that right now.
Don't fucking dare me to do things, man.
You better not tell
He
him not
also
to do it.
says,
He'll do it
My Little
then.
Pony is also accessible, so you can take your options there.
There's a fucking My Little Pony stamp set out here somewhere that used to be my daughter's. So I'll get it and I'll put stamps on my fucking...
Oh, wow.
Don't challenge me to do shit, man. I'm up for anything.
Might happen. All right, Vinny says, totally into this one. Plenty of wow factor straight onto my playlist, so there we go. Edge Crush says, love this song. Great pick, Dave. Ben says, I play fretless bass. Yes, that would be challenging, to say the least, I'm sure.
Do you notice there's more fretless bass players than fretless guitar players?
Yes,
Yeah, and guitar players make fun of bass players because they got like less strings. But you know, they're obviously more talented than we are because they don't play the fucking frets.
Fretless bass is tough, but it's not as tough as guitar. Guitar is completely different. Yeah.
Edge Crusher says, saw them both with Sons of Apollo. Absolutely unbelievable guitarist and keys player. Here's Conrad. I'll bring him in now. Hey, there. We'll go through some comments. There's Conrad. Good to see you, buddy. We'll get to you in just a second. I'll finish off the comments.
It's all right, mate. It's all good.
Yep.
All good.
Cool. Ben says, true temperament frets are even freakier. Okay, well, yeah, now we're getting right into stuff.
Another one.
There we go. Post the video. Benjamin says moist, and Andy says the album is incredible. Okay, well, if you've heard it and we haven't, then I'm fucking definitely keen to hear more on that one. But there we go. We caught up on the comments, and Conrad, you're here. How are you, my friend?
I'm groovy. I'm good. I'm out and about in public. They've let me out into the public. I've got to.
Are you on your medication?
Yeah, actually, not quite. I do have to pick some up.
I
got to get some meds. But I'm looking for. I'm a bit lost, actually. I'm looking for a place, and I can't seem to find it. Look, the Dole Scum Centre. I'm off to the Dole Scum Centre again today. There it is. It doesn't have a sign on it saying Dole Scum Centre, though, unfortunately.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That'd be funny as hell.
In a League of Gentlemen, it did, but not in real life. Anyway, I've got to pop in here, so I'm probably just going to come off mic to have a conversation with them, and then I'll come back on. So just carry on as you were.
All right, no worries. Well, you keep yourself there, and we'll see how we go with that. Because I'm going to quickly recap the. Here we go. Ben says Conrad's on the loose. There we go. And Bash says thanks to him. God's Destroy song rocks. So there we go. A lot of love for that one there. All righty. Let's now move on to. Oh, actually, next week, just for the I don't know, Conrad, if you've got a second, if you still got a moment there, I was going to ask you if you had a pick of the bunch of the songs or not, or if you didn't get a chance to listen to them, or it's okay. No, it's all good. I just thought I'd double check and see if you had a chance to spin them at all. But that's all good. But yeah, we are probably going to do more of the same next week, and then the week after we'll start seeing some changes come through to this little section of the show as well. So we'll play with that in the next coming weeks. But time to move on to the Builder Collection segment here, which is where we go through and do year by year, and we pick an album. The rules are that we can't have the same album each, obviously. So once an album is taken, it's gone. And in each of our lists, we can only choose the same band once. You can't have double ups of the same band as we go through things. So last week, it's 1990 to 1999 is what we're doing. And last week, we started this whole process by doing this with 1990. Conrad had first choice and went with Megadeth, Rust in Peace. I got second pick and went with Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Jeff had Queensryche with Empire. Dave had Judas Priest with Painkiller. And Bell had Warrant with Cherry Pie. Safe to say, this post went absolutely bonkers. And I have to give a special shout out to Bell, who went through hundreds of comments, literally this time around to
that was a shock.
It was a huge one. I did not expect that at all.
I don't go on Facebook, so I had no idea until about like 8:30 or something. I'm like counting away on Instagram and this and that, and open Facebook. I'm like, oh fuck, there's like 700 down here. It was still fun. It was interesting.
Yeah. So I'm appreciative of the work, Bell, and thank you everyone for getting involved. I don't know if next week we go anything like that, but we do have a lot of interaction. It was a lot of fun, so thank you everyone for getting involved. But we do have to score last week and then go through into this week. And so going from, they were all actually very popular albums. There was no sort of one that was really kicked out of the charts by a long way. They were all very good albums, all very popular, but we do have to, score these ones from, 1 through 5. And so coming in fifth spot, which means they get 10 points, is Bell with Cherry Pie. Getting 20 points is Jeff with Queensryche with Empire. 30 points goes to Dave, Judas Priest, Painkiller, which means I get 40 points with Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. And I don't think any of us are surprised to see that Megadeth comes out at front with Rust in Peace. 50 points to Conrad.
Wearing a Vic Rattlehead Jet t-shirt. You're bragging. Yes.
Wow, there we go.
I think that was all our first choice.
We should do more shows without Conrad's meds.
That order kind of makes sense. It probably shouldn't because they're all fucking fantastic albums, but in terms of popularity and history and legacy and everything.
Oh, of course,
5 great albums, right?
But
I know.
just when you thought 1990 was a big year, then you go.
Oh my God! 91 is huge.
And this is one of the biggest years of all time. I can see a TV special dedicated to 91 coming up in the very near future. What the fuck is going on? We could do 2 hours on this without even blinking. But as we do, we rotate through. Whoever picked last in the week before goes first this time around. So, Bell, you get to go first, and you have literally the pick of the litter here because this is a feast. So which album are you picking from 1991?
Yeah.
It's kind of sucky that I've got first pick because I could go fifth and still be happy because I'd have one of my probably all-time favorite albums. I didn't even bother writing them all down. I'm not going to go through them. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of some of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
So
fantastic year.
I know. So
arguably one of the biggest years ever. Seriously.
I could throw a dart. I could throw a dart at this page.
Yep.
So what do I do? Do I go music?
Because there's background noise. Sorry, man.
The dogs are being rowdy.
Hey, shut the fuck up, those scums.
I've got a ticket.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll try and get
That's
out.
all good, mate. So,
I'll be
Bill.
back.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm deliberating. You'd think
Yeah.
I would have come into this with an answer, but I don't. I could. There are two that are super.
I'll tell all the
super
doll scum
obvious.
to shut up.
Yeah, pipe down, scumbag.
Be quiet! I'm on television.
Exactly. Don't you know who I am?
Here we go.
I have a show to do. You unemployed doll scum.
Because you don't have a fucking job. Doesn't mean some of us don't have to work.
Exactly. I have a show to present. Shut up, a lot of you. And go get a fucking job while you're there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we got to keep moving. Bell, you got to make a decision.
Bell, pick something.
No. All right, I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to go a little. It's probably not going to be popular, but you know what? I don't care because I fucking love this album.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love it, and I spent so many hours with it, probably more than any of the others here. So I'm going to go Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
Cool.
Yeah. I don't even know if this would be on anyone's list, but
It wasn't, that's for sure.
Wasn't on my list.
adored
It's a good
this.
album, though. Yeah, I agree.
I knew it was out that year. I didn't know.
It wasn't on my fucking
I
list. That's
didn't,
for
yeah, it's
sure.
not on my list. Conrad just, yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
Conrad, your
oh,
timing
man.
sucks because he's
The
next.
doll dude died.
Oh no!
Doll
So,
dude
yeah,
died.
full time again. Conrad, you got to come back because we need to go
Do
through.
we
Now,
go to guess the song while we're
We could
waiting?
do the guess the song thing.
possibly.
Well,
Give us a
fine.
second. I'm going to go to some comments here quickly just to fill some space. So yeah, Benjamin before said Conrad's on loose. Vinny says he looks like a pilot without his plane with his headset on. So there we go. There we got what we got here. Not one song on Rip.
Not one shit song on Rust in Peace.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
There we go.
Agree.
Andy says, I mentioned that the album was incredible, but Dino Jelusic has recently released an album by his own band, Jelusic, which is incredible.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. We do have a lot of love that behind the scenes here. Vinny says, go with Skid Row. Somebody, we'll see. Vinny's gone, what the hell, picking silly Peppers. Minion. Lol.
Hey, Skid Row was on my top 8. Skid Row was on my list,
Fucking
mate.
Chili Peppers are so overrated.
It's a massive
Not
year.
bad.
I have a
Yeah.
funny feeling that it is going to get chosen somewhere along the way. We'll see. I've got to get Conrad back to fucking hell. All right. Well, this is going to be interesting. All right. Yeah. Let's
we got to
move
do
on
something.
let's go to guess the song, and then when Conrad comes back, we'll get him to give us his song of his pick of albums there as well. Quickly, Michael says Dark Secrets Revealed, Bell with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Dave with Nirvana. Well, we'll see if that happens because it is the year.
Well, I do own Nevermind, so I might shock the hell out of everybody. I was a massive Nirvana fan in my teenage years.
You were.
I was a very unhappy child.
Oh, here we go. Conrad's back. All right, saved.
Oh,
here we go. He's
my
back.
God.
All right.
Said
I
bad
am.
Bill. All right, buddy, you're up.
You did that well. All right.
Damn.
You look like crazy Catwoman, dude.
Yeah.
I'm fitting in with the locals, with the doll
There
scum.
you go. Flipping chicken in London.
Fitting in with the homeless.
All right, Conrad.
Thanks,
Pick an
Dave.
album
Cheers.
before you disappear again.
An
All
album
right,
from 1991. Which way are you
Wow,
going?
so many great
Yeah,
albums.
there
So
are
many.
so many.
This is a monster of a year. Listen, if I don't take it off the board, be an idiot not to. But
Yep.
it's a really hard choice because there's just too many in this year. I'm going to take Metallica's Black Album.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
All
well, I'm on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Fuck. All right. That means that I'm
it's a
next.
tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And
Mm.
I'm gonna
oh,
write this down.
there are some. I can send you a list, Bill. Don't worry. But it's challenging because there are so many, and you love so many of these albums, and they're all going to speak in different ways. I mean,
Yeah.
Slave to the Grind is a monster. You've got Van Halen, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dave's going to
Fucking
take
Hey
it. Guns N'
Stupid is
Roses
fantastic.
released 2 albums this year. But there's even
Because
other
one's not enough. One album's for pussies,
I
man.
know. Yothu Yindi released an album. Screaming Jets debuted. Metal Church,
just
The
a
Human
lot,
Factor was that. Like Armored
Yeah.
Saints, All Salvation. Like, what
Motorhead.
the fuck are we talking about here?
Sepultura.
Motorhead, 1916.
Yes.
Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger.
Rise.
There's shitloads. You got Mr. Big with Lean Into It.
Yeah.
You've even got things like Roxette, Joyride, and Michael Jackson, Dangerous that year.
Fuck, that's what I was
a
going to
year.
take. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
What
that.
a fucking year. I haven't taken anything
It
yet.
was a good fucking year for
No, I
music.
know.
It was a good year to be alive. And it all turns to shit 2 years later.
Well, we'll
Spoiler
find out
alert.
in a couple of weeks, Dave. But for me, I'm going to go with the bands that is not probably going to be the most popular choice. But in terms of what they did to get this album out and just how strong it is today and how emotional it makes me feel.
I think I know what you're picking. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, this is an album that can bring me to tears. And like this is up against, things like Motorhead 1916, which has a massive impact on me as well. But I'm going to go with Queen, Innuendo.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Good pick.
Good pick.
The Show Must Go On is worth it alone as far as I'm concerned, and that is where I've landed. There we go.
Wow.
All right,
dude. Do you know, I think I told you this when we did the Queen special, Jade cannot listen to that song. It makes her too upset. Yeah. She cannot listen to it. She knows it's a great song. I fucking love it too, but she can't listen to it.
It's a special moment.
He nailed that in one fucking take.
Yep.
And he was dying.
Yeah, he was dying.
The whole thing about it is just that's what makes me go, and that's why I'm taking that album, because just in terms of what they had to be going through when they did that, fuck, I don't know.
And
but anyway,
if you heard the isolated vocal track for that,
parts of it, yeah. He's still on, which is fucking nuts. All right, Jeff, over to you. Which album are you picking?
There's still a lot of choices. It's
tough.
Oh, fuck, it is tough. Look, there's some albums here that probably deserve to be picked, or at least mentioned. I'm going to mention Armored Saint with Symbol of Salvation, which is a great fucking album. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I mean,
So
Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
Yep.
Fuck,
I love that album.
Parallels by Fate's Warning, which I mentioned today. That's a great
I gotta listen to that shit, man. Because I like Fate's Warning. I haven't heard that album.
Are you going with there's also a Rush album released this year. I'm wondering if Jeff's going to go that way.
Roll the Bones, yeah. No, actually, I'm going to take another album that, look, I could have just went for the easy one, Skid Row, Slave to Grind, because that's just, I think that's low hanging fruit. It's like, but I'm not going to take it, and I'm actually going to take another album which I think is great, and I'm going to take No More Tears from Ozzy.
Oh,
wow, cool!
Of course,
nice. Best fucking Ozzy album ever made.
Well,
it's
up
debatable.
There. It's debatable. It's certainly the best Ozzy album with Zakk Wylde. I'll give him that.
Yeah, if it's a Randy Rhoads album, obviously we go Blizzard of Oz. If it's an Ozzy album, No More Tears is the best Ozzy ever fucking sounded.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I actually don't mind that song, and I don't even like Ozzy, so.
That album is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to go with. Okay.
Cool.
So Skid Row's
This is going to be interesting because when we did 1990, a lot of people were going, "Where's Slayer?" And it's like, well, yeah, we're going to get a lot of anger at this one too with some of the albums we're not talking about. But Dave, you have the final pick this round. So which way are you going?
Obviously, I'm going to go with Halloween Pink Bubbles Go Ape. I mean, it's metal, it's bubbles. That makes fucking sense, doesn't it? Jesus Christ.
Not required.
One of my favorite fucking bands go with bubbles. What's fucking evil about a bunch of bubbles? It's not as bad as Chameleon, released in '93, but one of the best albums. It's a good album. It's not a good album though. It's good. They were fucking obviously.
Chameleon was the bottom of the barrel.
Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. People say, if somebody said, "Tell me about Guns N' Roses," you never heard the band before, I would give them this album. This is the most diverse thing they ever did. It shows every side of the band. Possibly my favorite Guns N' Roses album. Appetite for Destruction is obviously fantastic. It's one-dimensional. The band was capable of a lot more. However, Use Your Illusion 2 has my two favorite songs, Locomotive and Estranged. Locomotive is not filler. Fuck off.
I was waiting for that.
But
Strange is a good song.
I'm going with this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Slave to the
Wow.
grind.
Yep.
This album is fucking fantastic. There is not a bad song on it. There is no
Yep.
My World and Sebastian Bach's vocals on this.
Mm-hmm.
In the studio, he fucking
My
smokes Axel. Axel was annoying because he would do one line and perfect it and then move on to the next line. He drove people fucking nuts. That was his process.
Yep.
You can't say the same for Sebastian. This is as fucking live as it gets. He just turns the record on and fucking smokes it and fucking nails it. Not a bad song on this album. This is brilliant from start to finish. So Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. Fuck yeah.
Good
Yeah.
choice.
Guns N' Roses can make it. I am so.
Nice.
You know, there was an album on my top 8 that no one's mentioned that I just want to give a shout out to because it's fucking awesome. And that is Badlands Voodoo Highway.
Oh yeah.
It is
Yeah.
seriously
Yeah.
good.
I thought
Brilliant
about it.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah. J.P. Lee.
I don't think
easily.
that's on
Jackie Lee's
Wikipedia.
one of my
I
favorite.
don't think it's on Wikipedia.
What? You
Yeah,
can't.
it
Well-
is, I'm pretty sure.
Badlands.
That's why
You can't get them on
You mean
streaming services.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean
Can't get them. You can only get Dusk, which is the third album that was
Yeah.
never released. Yeah. Thankfully,
I got the CD.
I have them.
Oh, I'm checking.
Well,
have you got the self-titled on CD? Oh, I want that so bad.
well,
Right.
just to quickly recap here. So
Amazing
just
the
go
Dark.
through the 1991, the poll coming
It's
up this
not-
week.
Someone needs to fix Wikipedia because Badlands isn't mentioned.
What?
Yeah,
The
I'm pretty sure it's in the metal
1991
section.
year in heavy metal on
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
go to the
Bad-
other tab
Badlands-
where it just goes music. Don't just go metal. Because the
I
other
went
tab
metal.
has a lot of bands.
Yeah,
But,
well, I'm
Badlands
sure.
are metal.
Yeah, but
Badlands
just
is-
because it's called, but the actual year in music is much more. You have to look at both tabs because
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But come on, some metalhead must have fixed Wikipedia. It's fucking. I'll shut
Another,
Anyway, just to recap here,
Yep.
we've got Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic as chosen by Bell. We have Metallica self-titled as chosen by Conrad. I chose Queen Innuendo. Jeff has Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears, and Dave has Gone with the bleeding obvious Skid Row Slave to the Grind.
I'm
So
sorry,
we have
Axel.
No,
I let you
no,
down, man.
believe that.
Fucking cracking album. So we're going to see what happens with that over the poll coming up in the next week. So stick around online for that sort of stuff as well. All right, Benjamin's gone. What year did Frog Stomp come out? I think it was
94.
94?
94.
I think it was
94, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
5 even.
That was a fucking shit album.
Well, we'll get to that year coming up. Rowan says, not a big year for me, but I think I'll go with Fate's Warning Parallels. There you
Yeah.
go. So there's some love
There
for
you
that
go.
one.
Some love.
Ben's gone, I feel old, laugh my ass off. Yeah, well, that's all of us. Andrew says, there were some great albums from 91, but the highlights was 2 albums that stood out for me were Mind, Funk, Self-Titled, and Corrosion and Conformity. Blind, Mind, Funk.
I was going to say Blind.
Yeah,
Blind, yeah. Blind was
thrash
a
album.
brilliant record.
A lot of
Blind's
love
a great
for it there.
record, yeah.
Bad Motorfinger, another album.
Bad Motorfinger
Yeah.
and
That's on my
Sepultura's
list.
Arise. Sepultura's Arise
that
as
one.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sepultura
that's
Rise
a good
as
fucking
well.
album.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Michael said, Innuendo, fantastic album. Good pick, Andrew. Thank you.
Yes.
Vinny's gone, oh, Andrew's just one here. Hard to beat a farewell album to fans, so to speak. So there we go. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens in the poll. Benjamin says, highly recommend my friend Seth Jackson's cover for The Show Must Go On. Trust me, he's on his YouTube channel. He's incredibly talented. Okay, I'll have to make a note of that. And
Okay, considering he had the balls to cover that song, I'm fucking
Yeah.
impressed. Do you know what? Nita Strauss covered that with guitar, and she did pretty good.
yeah.
Not as good. But
Yeah, you're not going to touch the original.
No,
Michael says, No More Tears, a solo produced, sounded great. Bash says,
Great
favorite
fucking
album from 91, No More Tears, Slave to the Grind, Use Your Illusion, The Black Album, U2, Achtung Baby. My best album is No More Tears. No More Tears song is a masterpiece. So there we go. We're getting a lot of love.
fucking Zombie Stomp itself is fantastic.
Michael says, Badlands, Voodoo Highway in my collection. Love that album, Bell. So there we go. Edge Crusher says, Tesla, Psychotic, Supper for me. Brilliant albums, 91. So there we go. Man Family says, great choices. Sally says, Blind is killer. And Rowan says, 91 was the year I got Appetite for Destruction and Hysteria. We were away behind at Flynn's Creek upper. So
4 years.
it doesn't matter when you get there, so long as you get there. That's the point that I say with all these albums. Alrighty, moving on. Guess the song time. Dave. Last week we had Jeff, and he had Led Zeppelin, Achilles' Last Stand. Dave nailed it like in a minute flat. So now it's time to guess the song. We all get one guess each, and I've time-stamped and kept an eye on things to see if the audience get it before we do. Before we do, Benjamin says Seth does it justice on the vocals and the guitar. He played all the music as well as beautiful vocals. All right, we'll have to check that out. That cover is definitely going to be on my to-do list. But now, Dave, the floor is yours. Let's see who gets there first.
Okay, no hints, no preamble. I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, here we go.
Right.
The child gave thought to the poet's words, gave comfort to the fallen, heartfelt, lovelorn. Remaining, yet still uninvited, these words centered my soul. Lonely soul, ocean soul. It's not the monsters under your bed, it's the man next door that makes you feel, makes you cry for the child. All the wars are fought among lonely men, unarmed, unscarred. I don't want to die a scarless man, a lonely soul. Tell me now what to do. I studied silence to learn the music. I joined the sinful to regain innocence. Heaven Queen, cover me in all that blue. Little boy, such precious joy is. Song title. Heaven Queen, carry me away from all my pain. All the same, take me away where... Song title. No one's got it?
No.
Fuck. I guarantee you've all heard it.
I know I've heard this one, and probably not long ago too, I think.
Yes.
You picked this for a show recently, didn't
constant, yet always changing my favorite view of the world. As he died, he will return to die again, weaving the cloth, giving birth to the century child. Hint.
Oh my God.
There we
Who
go.
gave his life not for the world but for me, innocence reborn once more. Chorus again. Heaven Queen, carry me away from all pain. All the same, take me away where... Heaven Queen, cover me in all that blue. Little boy, such precious joy is...
Well, I mean, is it the Century Child from Nightwish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. It's close. It's a song on Century Child.
Fuck if I know.
Heaven Queen, cover me in all that pain. All the same, take me away where...
Over the hills and far away. No.
No.
That's on the fucking pig.
That's a Gary Moore song.
Yeah, they covered it. No, it was covered it before this album, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I'm out.
I think Marco's vocals. There's nothing else left.
Phantom of the Opera, they covered.
Yeah.
They also covered. They also covered the theme to the Snowman. I'm walking in the air.
Yeah. Nah. Wrong album, dude. That's Ocean Born. This is on.
They did Walking in the Air.
Century Child. Heaven Queen, carry me away from all pain. All the same, take me away. We're dead.
Hang on. The Century Child come after once.
Yeah, what'd you say?
It's dead to the world, but yeah, I'm out. I didn't get it.
Oh well, none of us are getting it anyway, so there you go.
Yeah, Jeff wins.
In the end,
come on, that's one of the best fucking songs on the album, people.
I know.
Fuck.
But look, it's one of those, like, I could, when you said Century Child, I'm like, yeah, and then
I'm not that familiar with Nightwish.
No fucking clue.
Yeah.
But dead, when you said dead to the world.
Yeah,
but I thought that was okay.
I don't feel as bad because the audience haven't got it either. Because Man Family said all from 1 in 91.
One, Dave.
True.
Like, that's a
but also Nightwish Century Child. Got the album, just needed to get the song. So there we go. So Jeff got there in the end.
No,
I almost didn't go with Nightwish because I thought it would be too fucking obvious.
When you said dead, that
too
was
tough.
It couldn't be anything else.
Yeah.
This is
man. Thomas's fucking lyrics are beautiful. How can you not know them?
I knew who it was. I had no idea what the song.
I reckon this game is going to get more misses than hits. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out because we all sort of go into our own little wormholes and sort of see what happens up. But next week is Belle's turn. So Belle.
Oh, okay.
Next week, You're going to do
right.
it. So,
All right.
there we go. All
I'll
right.
write it down.
Time now for the main event of the evening. That is King of the Riff with the Stone Rock Metal Edition. This time around, it is round 2. There's going to be Queens of the Stone Age with Rated R versus Corrosion of Conformity with Deliverance. In the comments now, I'm going to put a a link to both of those songs. It's also in the description box. Make sure you check that out. Before we go on, Ben says, a master musician tuned me for life again. The awakening of new music my heart wants to become. My life is now mingled in ecstasy's height. So there we go. But yes, we have that going on. So those songs are in the description box, also in the comments as we go through things live here tonight. This is round 2. This is pretty much where it is all going to go through and see what happens with this one. It was the audience side of things was pretty one-sided. I'm wondering how if we're going to get to the same destination, which we sometimes do, sometimes don't, if it's going to be as one-sided as that. So again, this is Queens of the Stone Age Rated R versus Corrosion of Conformity with Deliverance. That is the battle for tonight. Get in the comments, let us know your thoughts. But for now, I'm going to actually start us off this time around. So for me, it's time for round 2. Both albums have real standout tracks. Sorry, Conrad, I'm just going to put you on mute for a second. I'll get you to come in when you're good to go. You'll be after me, so you'll be all right. All right. So yeah, both albums have real standout tracks that really cut through into popular culture. In the case of Queens of the Stone Age, that was Feel Good Hit of the Summer. That's one of those all-time enduring songs that came out of this little period in time. For me, that song is worth the price of entry alone. What a cracking song. It's got bite oddities. It's one hell of a hook in there as well. It's interesting how that's pretty much used as something of a refrain in the album as it goes through too, which is nice. Now, out of the two, you can easily argue that this album is possibly more accessible in a lot of ways. It's got more hooks, more melody in general, stays with you for sure. And where this one may leave some struggling is how after the first 2 tracks, this evolves into something more alternative rock than stoner rock for me when it comes to Rated R for Queens of Stone Age. So, Dave, just so you're catching up to where I'm at. The arty dissonance inside the album won't be for everyone, and frankly, by the end, especially with that little horn section at the end, can be a bit annoying. This is both in music and lyrics for the record as well, but the lyrics do have that sort of art vibe with it, but all that, that arty sort of quirky lyrical take was all the rage in that era, like the early 90s or whatever it was 2000 or something this one came out?
2000, yeah.
2000, yeah, sorry. So it was also that alternative rock thing. And it was just like, yeah, a bit, I don't know, you got one that's much more direct than this one in context, but, it's older by a few years. But that said, they use guest vocals on this album nicely. They break it up and they work well. And there's also a great mix on this album too. The layering is fantastic on it. I love the attention to detail on this one, sonically in particular. And all in all, it's one hell of a trip in a record. So while I don't think it's necessarily the most stoner rock album out there, it's a journey in a record. It's a bit of a trippy kind of a vibe to go through. There's quite a bit to take in as you go through it. It holds up on repeat spins. It's well mixed with great songs that are deceptively simple and catchy at the same time. Now, all that said, the album is just odd. The end of the album, is just odd and not really required. I read somewhere that it was like they wanted to put something there in case you fell asleep they punished you for falling asleep.
Yeah, I saw that.
What's the point then? What you want the people that are actively listening to turn it off? Like, is that
because they know they're fucking boring?
I just that last sort of 3 minutes of it or whatever it is like, wow, okay, that's you can be doing your art, but then there's it's still got to be consumable. So you got that sort of vibe set there. Then you go over to Corrosion and Conformity, and out of the two, this is by far the heavier, more riff-driven and direct kind of a listen. This one has some really serious bite, where I think that Queens of the Stone Age is a bit more probably musically savvy, but at the same time, it just sort of lilts a bit and it's more catchy. It's a bit nicer overall. This one just sort of is a bit more gnarly. Like the other album, this one uses groove. Both albums use groove well. This same with hooks. Corrosion and Conformity use hooks too. Great tempo changes that really flow through on Deliverance though. And this one has solos that actually stand out, which to me is a bonus. It's a big difference between the two albums. Right from the opening track, you get that one has solos, one doesn't, and it's just the whole way through. All in all, these are two pretty different albums to each other. They're not very alike. This one has a much more organic and sort of smooth feel to it, in spite of being a heavier album. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just felt like it flowed more. And there are a few years difference between the two, so it probably doesn't have as good of a mix as, you know, Queens of the Stone Age. I think the mixing on that one is pristine. This one has a bit of a rougher edge to it. The overall rawness can stand out in both the good and the bad way at the same time. I like it, but it depends on your own taste. But the cut-through track on this particular album, we had, you know, Feel Good Hit it some before. This time around, it's Clean My Wounds, and that still holds up so damn well all these years later. Not as big of a hit as Feel Good Hit of the Summer, but it's nothing to sneeze at either. It was a hell of a track. It's a great song. And where Queens of the Stone Age were definitely sort of leaning into the newer, more alternative style, this album, Deliverance, feels like it, you know, goes back to the classics a bit. There's little touches of Thin Lizzy in there, especially in Clean My Wounds, that it just sort of throws back nicely. I also liked the use of harmony across the album, musically and vocally. The use of instrumentals across it, there's like 3 in there, which is really nicely done to it. It breaks things up. And this one's less arty, quote unquote, overall. It allows for the songs to tell better stories, in my opinion, both musically and lyrically. And it's just a meaty album, and I like it like that. It makes it really easy to repeat spin, even though it's the longer of the two albums by a fair bit. Both have their oddity little quirk moments, but at the end, like this one has whistling of smoke on the water kind of thing at the very end of the album, which is like a quirky little thing. And for me, that made it sort of worth sticking around for, where the other one was kind of pissing me off. Yeah. So like, it's a different point of view. I mean, you can probably guess which way I'm going with this one, and that's okay. I'm not going to fuck around with it, but it was a bit of a surprise to me because I'm actually probably more familiar overall with Rated R than I am with Deliverance out of the two here. I've listened to them both from back in the day, but Rated R was probably the one I would have gone to back then. Nowadays, I'm definitely leaning with Deliverance and Corrosion and Conformity. The first pass didn't really change my mind. The second pass didn't change my mind. The third pass just locked it in for me. As always, these things come down to which one you're going to go to again, and for me, it's going to be Deliverance. Not really a complicated choice in this context, but I enjoy Queens of the Stone Age. It just sort of wanders a little bit too far into the weeds for mine and sort of loses me a bit here and there, which is where I didn't really want to go. I just wanted to be sort of stuck in with the riff of it all, which I thought was, better for me with Queens of the Stone Age. Sorry, Corrosion and Conformity, not Queens of the Stone Age. Corrosion and Conformity win this round for me. So that's one for Deliverance. Conrad, I'm going to unmute you because it is your turn, my friend. Which way are you leaning on this one between Corrosion and Conformity and Queens of the Stone Age?
This is interesting, very interesting, because Corrosion and Conformity before this record didn't really have a stone rock vibe to them. It wasn't really considered stone rock. Yeah, it was more of a hardcore sort of punk thing. And then Blind, which I love, is I love the sound of that record. It's really gritty. I love the production. So this was their first sort of, I guess, stoner rock record for them, you know, going in a different direction. And then you got Queens of the Stone Age, and I'm a massive, massive, massive C.O.S.A fan. I love that band. And this was a departure away from C.O.S.A and a bit too much of a departure. I think, you know, the first C.O.S.A record you had, well, the last C.O.S.A record was actually C.O.S.A split album with Queens. It's actually called C.O.S.A Queens of the Stone Age. And then they did the self-titled, and then they did this one. Yeah, it kind of gets away from what I would call stoner rock. So I'm with you on this one, Andrew. For me, it's more alternative rock, and it kind of goes into more of a quirky kind of an area, which is too much of a departure, I think, from what I would call stoner rock. And you know, stoner rock to me is C.O.S.A and that kind of sound, and Monster Magnets, and more of that groove, that fuzzy groove sound. So I'm going to go with Deliverance on this.
Nice,
because it's more I guess it's what I could call stoner rock, closer to what I could call stoner rock than what Rated R is.
Cool.
Are you still here, Conrad?
Yeah, I think he's just sort of breaking up a bit there. So I'll wait for Conrad's signal to get a bit stronger again. But there we go. He's back again now. There we are. Yeah. You're back with us.
Yeah.
So, Corrosion and Conformity.
Sorry. I'm over on the other side of the planet.
Okay, it's all good, mate. Don't stress. All good. All righty. We got a 2-0 lead at the moment, so this is going to be interesting. Bell, one more for Corrosion Conformity seals the deal. Which way are you going?
Yeah. Well, I've actually been a massive Queens of the Stone Age fan for a long time. Well, sorry, not massive, but a fan, especially from 20 odd years ago. It's funny because I hadn't even heard of the term stoner rock or stoner metal until the last recent few years. So I just thought they were Queens of the Stone Age. They were just rock. So I'm learning a lot. So, but I will start with Corrosion and Conformity because it's my first time hearing this band, listening to this album. There's no particular reason for that. I knew they existed. I just never delved into them. I'd possibly heard a song or two over the years, and you know about some bands and just don't listen to them, and you listen to others heaps. So, but I love what I'm hearing. Like I've played this all week, and I think it's great. I'm not regretful that I wasn't listening to it back then, but I'm glad I can hear it now. Yeah. It's just it's got a really good groove swing, and it just seems effortless all the way through. It's easy to listen to. I had it on while I was working, and that was enjoyable. I was able to just work and bop away, and then I enjoyed it when I was sort of sitting down and writing notes. So the guitar tone is great. It's probably my favorite thing about this album is the guitar tone. It's just got the right amount of fuzz. And their acoustic guitar moments too were just lovely. Like that track came in quite early for sort of an acoustic ballad, I guess you'd call it. And it's an instrumental too. Oh shit, what was it called? It's just like an acoustic kind of.
Yeah, I can't remember the title.
Ballad.
There's three.
There's Signor Limpio.
There was one before that actually.
Mono?
Shit.
There's a number one as well.
Yeah, there's number 2121313.
No, Without Wings, it's called. So
Without Wings is beautiful.
Yeah,
it is absolutely stunning. I really like that. But I think it was so I've got the thing up now. The next song. Oh no, not the next song. Senor Limpio. Anyway, I've got to give a shout out to because that was just fun. That was my favorite track on the album. Loved it. So other awesome moments I liked were the opening track. I thought it was just a banger and sets the tone for the album. The bass guitar on Migraine was just great. And I loved the playfulness in the title track. The solos on the album, they weren't blistering. That wouldn't suit the style anyway. No. And I thought they were just a pleasure to listen to when they came in. So overall, great album to spend the week with. Didn't get bored of it, and I just enjoyed becoming familiar with it.
Cool.
So an album I was familiar with, Rated R, and I didn't find this so much back then, but it's been a long time actually since I've heard this, and it's just a fucking chore to get through. It really was just a chore. Like each time I had it on, it was just really dreary and boring and just kind of weird, and I felt like I was sort of familiar with it, but I found that I wasn't. So I don't know how much I was tuned into this when I was sort of listening to it, 20 odd years ago. But I don't know. It's just I didn't enjoy it. I think I enjoyed moments, but for the most part, I wasn't enjoying it, and I couldn't wait for it to finish.
Wow.
Were you ever familiar with Q.O.T.S beforehand?
I don't think I've ever heard them.
Right, that was what Queen's Queens came out of Caius.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
So departure, different sound. Yeah.
Okay.
I
mean, I'd be willing to check out Caius.
We have
I mean,
Caius.
and I do like other Queens of the Stone, like their next album. Great, loved it, and the one, the couple after that, and even their debut was better than this. That's my opinion now. So anyway, when it comes to comparing these two albums, I think it's hard to believe they're bundled into the same genre. Like, one is uplifting, groovy, playful, and the other is just dreary and boring and just weird. So I know how I'd rather feel listening to an album. And so, vote goes for Deliverance.
Wow. Well, there we go. We have a winner determined, which is now play for the sweep, which is going to be interesting to see if this one goes, because you don't get a sweep very, very often. So let's see if the trend continues with Jeff and your thoughts between these two albums.
All right. I wrote this shit down. Let me see. Give me a moment. I will dig it up.
On preparation, me.
Preparation H. I got this. All right. You guys don't even know what preparation H is, do you? No. All right.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, that's stupid.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew. That's for hemorrhoids. Speaking of hemorrhoids, I've got to say this. I had
what?
Do I need to leave?
Can we not, please? Can we not do this?
I had a customer.
Not this kind of show.
I had a customer anyway. Her name was Suzanne Hemsroyd. I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness.
And so I messaged the wife. I'm like, holy fuck. I just had a customer because my ex-wife's name is Suzanne. And I'm like, this woman, I couldn't help it. I was thinking about you. So anyway. She thought it was funny, but Suzanne Hemsroyd. I couldn't fucking mute my microphone.
That's unfortunate.
How do you call that person's name out in a public?
I don't know, man.
The chemist, especially at a chemist.
Hemsroyd. It's like R-O-Y-D. But holy fuck. Like,
wow.
Oh my god. You'd sue your parents.
I'm sure they went through hell going through school. That would have been.
Anyway,
all right.
Enough hemorrhoid talk. Sorry.
Yes,
okay,
enough of the hemorrhoid talk.
All right, here's what I wrote. For many Queens of the Stone Rights fans, sorry, can't help it. It's the ultimate. They're the ultimate rock band. Really, they are. And I know a lot of people worship. No, really. There's a lot of people.
No, they're not the ultimate fucking rock band, though.
Anyway,
a lot of people, they are. Okay, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying they are. Okay, but there's a lot of people that worship at the altar of Josh Homme. I guess how you say Homme. Yeah. Anyway, Queens of the Stone Range is Stone Age. Fuck, I can't even speak tonight. Anyway, it's one of those bands that is just current and yet have an almost undefinable sound that sets them apart from many of their musical peers. Now, what Rated R brings to the table is the nucleus of things to come. And looking back, it's easy to see that this album was a foreshadow of what would later define their career, like their next album, right? I think that Rated R is a good album within the catalog of their music. It ultimately only a taste of what was to be, to come, and therefore it really doesn't define the band as a single release, if that makes sense. Probably not. And despite that, Josh's previous legendary stoner rock band Caius, I don't think Rated R really succeeds as a stoner rock album. So to be fair, you can hear it, but only if you go looking for it. And I think that's where the album fails. So to me, Rated R isn't much of a rock stoner album. Now, then we get to Corrosion of Conformity, Deliverance, 1994. So the same cannot be said of Deliverance. It exudes what I would call stoner rock virtues. Now, maybe it's cliche, but it's a genre and certain things are expected of it. And I think that's where Deliverance delivers, if you allowed me to an indulgent pun. Yeah. I think it sounds like a stoner rock album because, very simply, it is one. Every song on it has its place, and I think Pepper Keenan and the crew don't really rest on their laurels here. They produced an album filled with light and shade aplenty. There's lots of light and shade aplenty on this album. There's tender atmospheric acoustic moments like Without Wings, like Bell mentioned, or somber, melancholy moments like Mano de Mano or Shelter. Plenty of dark, sludgy moments that drip with groove, like Albatross, Shake Like You, or 7 Days even. And I think the inclusion of these diverse musical elements allow the album to breathe and give it a dimension. Something that is sadly missing from a lot of stoner albums from their peers, unfortunately. I quite like that Rated R, the album that it is, for what it is, but up against an album like Deliverance, in my opinion, it didn't stand a chance from the get-go. This was David versus Goliath at its finest. My vote, therefore, has to go hands down with the better album between the two is Deliverance. Now, I'm going to give you a little story before I move on. So, back in like 93, I think it was, I went to see, this is a strange story, but I went to see, this would be my second time for seeing Bon Jovi. I believe they were on the Keep the Faith tour.
I heard this,
Yeah, and they had two bands open up for them. One was a local guy that he's really amazing guitar player. He's got a band called Wild T and the Spirit. And back in the early 90s, he was all the rage. You guys may not have got him out here, but he really was good. Wild T and the Spirit. And the other band was fucking Corrosion of Conformity.
Wow.
No, that's a weird comparison.
I know.
Wow.
It was bizarre. It was very strange. Because
they would have been on Blind.
They hadn't even released this album yet.
They would have been on Blind. Blind, which is way heavier. It
was bizarre. At the time, I didn't.
Would have gone down like a lead balloon.
The audience would have hated it.
I don't really remember, to be honest. I enjoyed it, but I don't really remember how the crowd. I didn't think at the time that it was out. It wasn't until later. I'm like, that really didn't. Maybe there was somebody in Bon Jovi that liked Corrosion of Conformity. I don't know, but I saw them. And
Bon Jovi and Sambora signed Skid Row to their little deal.
This is true. This is true.
There is precedent.
I saw them on the Deliverance tour supporting Megadeth on Euthanasia. Megadeth were touring Euthanasia.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That was good. It was good. Yeah.
But Bon Jovi, I enjoyed the Bon Jovi, but yeah, this was strange. Anyway, I probably have a ticket stub lying around somewhere. I'd love to find it. I probably have it. I've got most of my ticket stubs. Anyway, yeah, hands down, Deliverance gets this. So, Dave?
All right. So, Dave, is this a clean sweep?
Right. Look, there's no surprise that from fucking 1993 to 1999, I hate the fucking 90s. It was, as far as mainstream rock goes, it was a fucking worst era in music from the 60s to now. It was fucking terrible. So I haven't heard any of these albums, either of them.
Yep.
I have heard one Queens of the Stone Age albums before. It was okay. No one knows. That's a cool song, okay? The album didn't leave me inspired to hear another one, though. So I haven't heard this, whatever the fuck this one's rated up.
Yeah.
Okay. Feel Good Hit of Summer. This would be the most boring and repetitive fucking song I have heard. And this solo is fucking horrible. Is it actually a solo or did somebody break a string? This makes Kurt Cobain sounds like Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
It's fucking horrible.
Wow. Here we go.
Okay? And the album goes on from quirky to droning to repetitive to a cure for insomnia. I wonder if these songs are actually written on purpose or if they were an accident when stoned.
Clean sweep. I'm calling it.
Better Living for You is a perfect example of the guitar tone that I fucking hate.
Wow.
And it was so popular in the 90s and it got worse with alternative rock. It's not quite clean. It's not quite distorted. It's somewhere in between. that mild overdrive with that twang. Make a fucking choice. Play clean or play distorted. Fucking hate that sound. Quick and to the chemistry is the worst vocal performance I have ever heard. That was fucking torture. The stuff on Lulu is better.
Oh,
I think I lost my headache.
Wow.
Nice to close the song with a blatant rip-off of Silverchair's Freak. Listen to those two songs. It's a different key, but it's fucking identical. Dun, 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 dun. It's Silverchair's Freak. As soon as that song came on, like, you fucking stole from Silverchair. Okay, it's not the most complex riff ever written. It's straight out of Guitar Playing for Dummies, Chapter 1. I mean, we used to clap this shit in grade 7 music class. When are we going to put a rest in, people? Okay. You get into the quirky shit with 15/8 time signature. I doubt that was done on purpose because you're too fucking stoned. I seriously doubt you're that clever a musician. And I looked up on Wikipedia. I needed to know some more about this shit. Apparently, the horns in the outro are intentionally jarring and repetitive to punish those who had fallen asleep while listening to the album. At least you know you're fucking boring. Stoner Rock is right. You would have to be seriously fucked up to enjoy this shit because this is absolute fucking crap. This makes me want to apologize for any bad thing I ever said about Nirvana because listening to Nirvana is fucking brilliant compared to this crap. This is one of the worst fucking albums I've ever heard. Holy shit. Corrosion or Conformity, straight away, this is a much better sounding album, better guitar tone, better vocals, better songwriting, better performances. Yeah, clean sweep. Songs have different moods, different lengths, different tempos, which makes for a much better, interesting listen. It's laid back and loose, but everything sounds like it belongs and has its place. Some songs are heavy and brooding, while others are upbeat and energetic. There are a few laid back, and there's some instrumentals in there, different song lengths. This is pretty good. The acronym for Corrosion or Conformity is C.O.C. So, cock for the win. Yeah, cock.
There you have it, people. Dave loves cock.
Well, yeah.
I love cock.
Oh, here we go. All right. So that does make it a clean sweep. We don't get many of those at all.
No,
We've all just gone and punted Queens of the Stone Age and gone with Corrosion and Conformity, which ties in with the audience poll on this one as well, just for the record. We are still in sync with the audience. The audience went pretty much like 80% with Corrosion and Conformity when you break it all down.
Obviously. Yeah. The audience has taste.
I got one question for Dave. I got to know. This is killing me. The Kick Inside or Rated R?
Rated R.
You take Rated R?
Man, the Kick Inside made me listen to Limp Bizkit, and I fucking despise Limp Bizkit.
That's a fair point,
I
actually.
could rant for fucking 10 minutes on Limp Bizkit and that fucking Chocolate Starfish album. I fucking despise everything about that and what it did to music. And I would go on for fucking hours about that. But fucking Kate Bush, I cannot stand.
Okay.
Stop talking, Dave.
Yeah. I had to know because when you just said Rated R was one of the worst things you'd ever heard.
Wow.
But you also said that the Kick Inside.
Yeah. But okay. Here for context, I would listen to Kim Dracula over Rated R.
Well, there we go.
Kim Dracula's good, man.
All right.
No.
We will see. We will see. But for now, that is us still 2 weeks in a row now. We've gone with the audience. So last week down, got the win from both us and the audience. This time around, it is the same again with Corrosion and Conformity in the win over Queens of the Stone Age. So we are still in sync with the audience. We're still marching step by step. We'll see how long that lasts for. Next week is going to be interesting again. So next week is round 3 and is going to be Electric Wizard with Dope Throne going up against Clutch, Blast Tyrant. Those are the 2 albums going head-to-head next week. And Conrad's already like, oh, my God. So, yes, it's going to be a we'll see how that one goes next week. So, yeah, Electric Wizard, Dope Throne, Clutch, Blast Tyrant. Those are the 2 albums going head-to-head next week. along with all the usual stuff we do here in our live streams. Let's see here. Got some comments. Rowan, before we got stuck into the battle, said, Bell's lyrics for next week. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
just giving it away.
But here we go. Basher says, Deliverance for me. Michael was having a good chuckle at everything going on. Benjamin says, damn, Seth's video is under a different name. I'll send it to you on Facebook, Andrew Norris. Cool. Please do, mate. I look forward to seeing that one. Basher says, not Fesh sideshows in Melbourne, Lamb of God and The Who. If you had to choose one to go, which one? Lamb of God or The Who? Whew.
Lamb of God.
Okay. It's a quick okay, so Bell's gone Lamb of God. Jeff, Lamb of God or The Who? Which show do you go to?
The Who.
The Who. Conrad?
The Who for me.
Yep. I'm going to go with The Who as well, actually. I've wanted to see that band out of Mongolia since they came out, and so I'm dying to see them. So, yeah, I would rather see them than Lamb of God at this point in time. What we got? Michael says, well spoken, Dave. Great to see you so restrained on this review. Yeah. Vinny says, totally agree, Dave. I reckon I virtually tuned out of music during 93 to 97. If anything, the late Princess Diana's untimely death woke the world out of this stupid slumber. Harsh comparison, I know. Wow, that's up there. Basher says also, The Kick Inside is a fantastic album. It took me over 20 years to appreciate this album. It could happen to you, Dave. We'll see about that.
I don't think so.
There's no way in hell I will ever listen to that shit again.
Okay, we know. Bash says thanks to us all, and Guy says C.O.C. hence Albatross. Yes, indeed. Alrighty, that does us for now. For Patreon people, stay tuned. There are updates coming for you on what we're going to do behind the scenes very, very shortly, including getting you involvement in the Songs of the Week side of things as well very, very shortly too. So a lot coming up in the next few days for Patreon. Otherwise, all the usual stuff's going to be going on. Check us out on telly every Saturday night and every Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Channel 31 in Melbourne on Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Channel 44 in Adelaide in Thursday nights. Like I said, we've got all the posts. We'll have all the polling going on as well. We'll have a pre-poll of the battle, and we'll do the album collection as well. So we're preparing for the Bell. I don't know how it's going to go with the numbers on the votes next week. Probably not going to be as high again, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, I don't know. Some big ones in there. It's a big
91's a fucking huge year.
91 is a big year.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah,
1991, 92. How did it all turn to shit so fucking quickly after that?
We'll find out. Maybe it didn't go to as bad as you think, Dave. We'll find out.
I'm just a miserable cunt.
Okay.
At least he knows what he is.
We have a lot to get through, as always. We're going to pick the album. We're going to do guess the song. We've got a battle coming up next week, and we've got all this sort of stuff and more. So make sure you tune in same time, place as always to catch up with us then. But for now, it's time to wrap up with things and go to the bin very, very quickly here as always. So to get us out of here, Jeff, what are you putting in the bin this week?
Trump. Move.
Trump.
I'm done. Trump.
Again?
Yeah, Trump is his fucking
broken record.
I'm like a broken record. I was thinking, well, you know, it was either that or Rated R, because that was I didn't like it really. That last song, that fucking did my head in. I'm like, when is this gonna fucking end?
That was bad.
That song can get in the fucking bin. Seriously.
Yep.
That's shit. Yeah.
Cool.
Like that.
All right. Belle, what have you got?
Oh. All right. Look, I could put a couple of things in the bin.
Yeah.
But I won't, because that's just morbid and depressing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about this, and I thought I will put something in the bin on behalf of a fellow citizen that I don't even know. This is an unknown person who I assume is a local to where I live, and is now my new hero.
Ooh.
Because so there's a windy road that leads to my house, and it goes forever, and I've probably bitched about it before. And occasionally there are potholes in this road, and it takes the council a while to come and fix them. And there's this one that's been there for a while, and it doesn't really bother me because I know where it is and I can just avoid it. But it's clearly annoying one of my neighbours, because earlier in the week when I was driving down this road, I've noticed that this person has taken the time to pull over get a can of spray paint, spray a big circle around this pothole, and then spray paint basically across the width of the road with an arrow that said, "Fix this cunt." Like, right in
Nice. Wow.
That's brilliant.
I really freaking ran off the road. I just saw that and I was crying with laughter. Oh my God.
Great.
It's the funniest shit ever. It's been there all week. I hope the council never fix that pothole.
If it works,
So,
not now on though.
I'll take a photo of it if I can.
Oh,
and
please, if you
send
can.
it.
That's
Yeah.
Awesome album cover. Just
it would.
Yes.
So on behalf of that guy or girl, I put that pothole in the bin for them.
Fuck, that's amazing.
That's fucking brilliant.
That is great. All right, Dave, you get to follow it up.
Oh. Fuck. Okay. This spin will also allow me to address a rumor that might be circulating about me, and this happened before Christmas. Being lured to places under false pretenses. It sounds a bit more creepy than it actually is, but as part of my work Christmas party, we had like dinner at a restaurant. It was fantastic. Food was great. And apparently I was already drunk by the time we left the restaurant. I drank the equivalent of 2 jugs and a whole bunch more. But the boss suggested, let's go to a bar. So I'm trying to keep this short, but this is a bit of a story. But the boss said, let's go to a bar, drinks are on me. So I'm like, I'm fucking in. Free drinks. Yep, let's do it. Fuck, yep. I mean, I'm at the point where apparently I got up and made a speech about the boss. The boss made a speech about everybody that works there. But I got up and made a speech about the boss. And I didn't notice until like the next day when I thanked the second in charge, the woman in the office, for driving me home. And she's like, oh, thanks for getting up and making a speech about the boss because I have to do it every year. I'm like, I fucking did what? Okay. So I'm fucking wasted before we left the restaurant. So we go to this bar and we're waiting outside. And like, I'm on fucking TV. Why do I have to wait? And my boss actually hung up with Sebastian Bach. He's got photos and video. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I know Sebastian Bach. Do you know who we fucking are? Anyway, we get into this bar and I'm standing there and I'm like, hang on. There's a small little bar over there. There's all these young people. There's these lights flashing. And there's this horrible EDM playing. This isn't a fucking bar. This is a club. What the fuck? So, yes. So the guy from the Hard Rock Show was in the fucking club before Christmas. And I'm like, okay, dude. God. This is not your scene. This is not your music. This isn't your people. It's not your fucking drugs. You know, just drink as much as possible. Drinks are on the boss. Drink. You worked in retail for 18 years. You can tune music out. There's no way anybody is going to recognize you. I'm there for a minute and I hear, hey, Dave, what are you doing here? So 5 years ago, I used to work as a fucking manager at Toys.R.Us in Frankston. Yeah. And along comes this guy who used to be one of my staff members. And he recognized me. And he brought me a drink. He's a good bloke. It's good to see he's doing well. But I know that he's gone and told everybody else, hey, you remember Dave, that long-haired manager who used to work at Toys.R.Us? That metalhead? Yeah. And one of their dads used to watch the Hard Rock Show. So if there was a rumor circulating that the guy from the Hard Rock Show was in the fucking club, yes, I wasn't there on purpose. It was part of the work Christmas party. Oh, wow. I drank so fucking much. He bought me a drink too. And by the end of the night, I don't remember the music because the music's fucking gay. So I managed to tune it out. And like, okay, where the fuck did I park? And my boss is like, you are not driving home. Wow. I've been buying you doubles all night and you were drunk by the fucking time we left the restaurant. Yeah. So I ended up getting a lift home. And when I got the lift home, Andrew knows where I live. They pulled up on the side. I staggered towards the road, and it was like before Christmas, and there's like these fucking lights up the walkway to the house. Yeah. I had to be careful not to fucking trip over them.
You little
And when I
context,
eventually got inside, Julia's like, "You didn't drive home, did you?" Like, what gave you that idea? She's like, "One, I didn't hear your car from up the fucking road because the car's fucked." And she's like, "Two, it took you 2 minutes to get the fucking car door open." I'm like, okay, look, I gotta confess something. We went to, she's like, "Who the fuck was she?" I'm like, no, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. We went to this place and there was like music and lights and EDM, and it's like, "You went to a fucking club." I'm like, no, they said it was a bar. So it's like this whole fucking horrible thing. So being lured to places under false pretenses and get in the fucking bin. Just tell me we're going to drink somewhere. Don't tell me it's a bar. If it's a club, it's a club. Just tell me it's free alcohol and I will tune shit out. Fuck, that went for longer than it should.
Good. Oh, wow. All right. Conrad, are you with us or are you available? All right, I might just move on. It looks like Conrad's doing something relatively important. So I'll
there's a target for you, Conrad.
There's a light. I can see the light. But anyway,
out you come.
He just handed it in his goal form, I think.
Oh, he looks cross.
No, I'm good.
You're all good. All right.
Yeah,
do you want to quickly do your bin while you got a second? I thought you were handing over paperwork before, so I didn't want to interrupt you too much. But
no, I was kind of having an appointment type thing, but I'm good. Ben, the bureaucracy over here in the UK when it comes to the equivalent of Centrelink, over here is just the worst. They make Centrelink look amazeballs, and they are in comparison.
Centrelink is amazeballs.
So there you go. Centrelink is amazeballs. In comparison to what you have to deal with here, it's the incompetence here is off on another level. It really is. So you have no idea just how difficult it can be here, challenging. So yes, we call them universal credit, and they can get in the bin.
Fair enough.
They should be
fired.
Yeah, and the Tory government here are just the worst.
Yeah,
they really are the worst.
Generally not good for anyone. But you got an election coming up, so we'll see what happens over there after that.
Yeah.
All right. Quickly for me, and then we'll get out of here. Two things very, very shortly. One is, and for Patreon and the crew here, you'll know it, the idea or the effect of burnout on people and what it does, and that just is painful for everyone. And I just want that.
I'm sorry.
What? No, it's all good. And so it's just that thing where you just what it does to people, and I just wish it wasn't a thing. It's not to do with, I don't hold it against anyone. It just fucking happens. But it's just I just wish it wasn't that way, and the world would make it a bit easier for people to pursue their passions and their loves and not put them under the grind all the time. The other one, going back to my highlight of the week to tying things together, is to do with the Chiefs and all sort of stuff, and this rampant hate online about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It's like, haven't you got anything fucking better to do with your time than worry about someone who's
Taylor Swift? My daughter hates Taylor Swift.
No, this is a big conspiracy.
I'm so proud.
I'm guessing that's to do with the music, but this one is just because raging roid boys are fucking upset they're seeing some girl on TV for all of like 30 seconds during
that's cool. She's good at what she does.
Yeah, like she's talented.
What she does
she's talented. You can't deny her talent. And
she's talented. I will give that.
She's very talented.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I just find it absolutely ridiculous that people are so bent out of shape about someone they're seeing on the TV screen for less than 30 seconds out of a 2-hour-plus game. It's like, really? That's your problem? Idiots, one and all. So you can all go in the bin if you're hating on that thing, and genuinely, again, it goes back to the whole thing about don't yuck other people's yum. If people are genuinely happy and smiling, and you're shitting on that, maybe you should think about what's going on in your life versus worrying about what's happening on TV in front of you, which has no bearing on your world in the real sense at all. So calm down, people. But that'll do us. We're back again, same time and place next week. Final comments to go through, and then we're out of here. Vinny says, my bin is only recently discovering reverse exorcism for those who are curious as where the devil tells the priest to get off the child.
Ultimate Vinny joke.
Wow, Vinny.
A little bit racier, but yeah, okay.
Asher says the council will definitely address the pothole drama by blanking out the paint and leaving the hole. That's probably what's going to happen, Basher. You're right. They'll get rid of the paint and leave the hole there.
Yeah.
No, you got to take a photo of it
I
for
hope.
posterity.
Get a
You
photo
have
before it goes away.
Yeah. So if they
Really
don't
rude.
move that parts down here, there's no fear of them doing anything about it anytime soon. But yeah, I will.
Vinny's gone. Dave requesting Destiny's Child at the DJ booth. So there we go.
Yeah, it's strong. Don't want no strong. Strong is a
Carmen's here going, hi, bro. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Vinny says, don't pay attention to them, Andrew. It'll dissolve once Purdy wins the game on his own. We'll see how that plays out. Nicole says, thanks all. Sally says, thanks, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all again, same time, place. Beside me, we have Jeff. On the far side, we have Bell. To the opposite corner, we have Dave. And then right below, we have Conrad. On behalf of us all here at the show, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then, I'm Andrew. You know what to do, folks. As always,
Drink up.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
well, then you can always rock on. So there we go. Adios, folks.
God.
We'll see you very, very soon. Have a good week.
Cheers.